So this is my CDH list. Unfortunately, it also has the incorrect artifact position in Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt, but we could go over that later.
Are we gonna? Yeah, yeah, because it's the same ones, right? Or no, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's pretty
It's
much the
one.
same cards, but
Okay,
for this specific list, I'd probably lean into more competitive cards than Thought Vessel and
okay,
Mind Stone. I
gotcha,
might actually just drop the rocks and add more value pieces.
gotcha. So you
Just
might do
just be
more than just take out the two cards. You might rearrange it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, go
So
ahead.
Tivit, Seller of Secrets is the commander.
Mhm.
Um it's 3 white, blue, black for a 6/6 with flying and ward 3. When it enters the battlefield or deals damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate, which means create a clue token. And for each bribe vote, create a treasure token. While voting, you vote at an additional time. So you vote twice for all the cards that you vote on, pretty much.
Mhm.
Um, this helps because it goes infinite with one single card in the deck under the artifacts section. Uh, Time Sieve.
Got it.
So Time Sieve is a blue black for an artifact. You tap, sacrifice 5 artifacts, take an extra turn. So with Tivit, every time he hits a player, he creates 5 artifacts. And with this, you could sack those 5 artifacts to take infinite turns. So if no player has a flying creature, which in CDH is very often, unless they're playing some sort of strategy where their commander has flying for some reason.
Mhm.
But if if they don't have a creature with flying, Time Sieve pretty much goes infinite with
So
with
the only way to
just the
beat this is
commander,
a set of wings. You need a set of wings
pretty
to
much.
counter this. Got it.
Yeah. To be honest, the rest of the deck pretty much has the same strategy as the other deck.
Mhm.
Um, so you have your Thassa's Oracle in the creature section. But instead of Thassa's Oracle complementing Leveler in the deck, it instead is complemented by 2 different cards in the deck under the instance category. Demonic Consultation. So, Demonic Consultation is 1 black for an instant, name a card, remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game, and reveal the next card to all players. If it is the named card, put that card in your hand. If not, remove that card from the game and continue revealing the top card of your library and removing it from the game until you get the named card. So basically, with this deck, you're going to play Demonic Consultation and you're going to say, "Hi, I need a mountain. A mountain doesn't exist in this deck." So pretty much on turn 3, if you have 2 blue and a black, you could play Demonic Consultation and name Mountain, and then which is not in the deck, and exile your entire library, and then play Thassa's Oracle.
So what would be your tip really quick? Like, it's talking to a noob, like, the different mindsets behind, like, building these decks. Like, you like you're saying, like, you're making different connections and different combinations. So, obviously, this deck costs about 5 times as much too, right?
Yes.
Is this so is it just money or is it stratagem? What's leading the change here? One is a casual deck and one is more competitive, obviously, but I still think that there's a little bit more psychology behind that. Like, so, like, what is it basically decided based on just money?
Yeah, so Magic is a pay to win game.
Okay, it's nothing wrong if it is. I'm just asking. Yeah,
Yes, so it's just strictly a pay to win game. So if
gotcha.
you're not paying to win, then you're most likely not going to win in a competitive format.
Yeah, you have to have
Um
knowledge, but you have to have the money to utilize the right cards. Like, you're just
yes.
not gonna be able to use $1,000. Could somebody beat you? I know they could technically, but, like, how likely is somebody with $1,000 deck, to beat your $5,000 deck if they're really good?
I could probably beat my $5,000 deck with my $1,500 deck.
Okay, alright,
Like playing against it 1v1, I could probably beat it. But
gotcha.
uh the main reason why this deck is more expensive than the other one is if you go down to the land section.
Okay,
So if you go down to lands, you'll see a land called Scrub Land.
gotcha. Got it.
Okay. These are what's known as true duels. So they just come in and they do their thing. But the only reason this card is expensive is because it's fetchable with every fetch in the game.
Okay.
So anything that looks for the basic land types, you could go find Scrubland.
So it's applicable. It mixes with any. It's just it matches up with way more cards, and that's why you're paying four hundred
Yes,
dollars for it. Okay.
yes. And then you move down to the tundra, and the tundra is even more expensive.
God, these lands suck too. Like, I mean, like as lands, like, like as lands I want to live on. Like, it's like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. I mean, oh crap. So
All right.
I'm trying to censor myself. Go ahead.
So like these true duels are insanely pricey for what they are, but they are the only cards that do that one thing.
Hmm.
They're all fetchable. None of them say they come in tapped. Um, they both act as dual lands, and they're probably the best at what they do.
Yeah.
Uh, what's even more insane is if you instead of saying Tundra, you could go down to Underground Sea, and Underground Sea is $1,000 card.
God. So it's just like a sewer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so this is $1,000 card that just sits there in the deck and fixes your mana, I guess.
May I say I also don't like the art on any of these? Is that okay to say? Like, it's also like visually not pleasing
Yeah,
for expensive cards.
so there's different prints of these cards, but these are
Mhm.
obviously the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
Uh, they were reprinted once, and then there was a secret layer in which they reprinted them all in like a borderless, which they have actually a better art on those cards because they
Yeah.
look cooler.
I think this is the same one. I don't know if I think I'm able to go to the different ones on this really quick. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, you're able to on you're able to get different versions on this. How do I get the different versions on the site I'm on?
Um, I actually don't know.
Hmm, doesn't matter.
I've
Um,
never done that before, but uh the only reason why this deck is more expensive than that one is because of the true duels. Um they also come with most of the fetches, which are like $20 each for up to like 25 if you get the rare ones. It also comes with more combos of the category necropotence. So like this deck is much more expensive in the combo category as much as it is in the value category. Um, Another card that's like big money that probably
mhm.
doesn't need to be in here for some reason. Uh, you could go to Transmute Artifact in the sorceries. So Transmute Artifact is from Antiquities, and basically it's like a $450 card that just sits in there. I probably never use it. Um, it's kind of insane that I have it in the deck instead of choosing another card for that specific category. But this specific card looks for time sieve, so that's realistically the only reason it's in there. It also comes with more of the expensive value cards like Esper Sentinel and Lotho, Orcish Bowmaster, like
Yeah,
all all of the more value pieces that you just get additional value out of, they're in here.
got it.
So
Where could you trim the
uh
fat hair if you had to trim some fat? Say you got to take $1,000 off this deck. Where do you take it?
you don't
Gun to your
like
head, you got to do it.
well there's no way to do it
Really?
unless you just cut the true duels. Like
Yeah.
that would be an easy 2 grand right there. But like
Well, how about 500 and it's still playable and winnable?
um
I'm on the spot. I'm putting
uh,
you on the spot here, but maybe somebody doesn't have 5,000. Maybe they have, or maybe they just have 5,000. They don't have 5,541. So we gotta make it work. You know, where do we get this $500 from here? Do we get rid of some Imperial steel? Do we move down to some Damascus steel? What do we do?
no, because Imperial Seal is needed. Vampiric Tutor is needed. Demonic Tutor is needed. Um,
Sorry, making you pick between your children here. Sophie's choice.
uh,
Yeah.
it's uh, well,
Which
I would probably start by cutting the band cards and replacing them.
Gotcha. So something a little bit less fancy for those. So I won't put you on the spot, but I just wanted to know because I thought it'd be interesting. 5,000, big. Okay, well I got 5,000. I'm at 5,541. But I get it. Like you have to look at the what card goes with it, and it's not just I can cut this because if you cut this, you're cutting other stuff, and it doesn't, or it makes other cards not work. I do understand that. So
Yeah, this is strictly built the best it could possibly be,
there's
except
nothing
of
in
course,
here that doesn't do something.
yeah, like everything does something in this deck.
Gotcha.
And like the more expensive, like if I had to cut something, it's probably Transmute Artifact,
Okay.
and that's about $400 worth of the value. But like you still need that to go find your time save, to go find your one ring, to go find your value.
Yeah.
So it's like
It wasn't put in there like willy nilly. I get it. Yeah, that everything had a plan, you know. So I guess if you'd have to start more from scratch to really get the price down, right? Like would be you can't just cut
um
from this. It'd be probably easier, I'm assuming, to start from scratch to make a deck that's cheaper than to just cut from this one. Because this one, like you said, you picked all these. All these cards have a purpose, obviously. I look at these and I think, oh, there's a bunch of cards here. You can surely cut one or two, but I'm new, so that's why I'm probably gonna suck. Because I'm looking at it like that.
yeah, for this particular deck, I don't think I could actually cut anything.
hmm Gotcha. Everything's got a
And
reason.
yeah, so like even the counter spells have a reason. Uh, Born Upon the Wind works with Necropotence as an infinite. Windfall kind of draws you into more value. Toxic Deluge, and I also am supposed to have Languish in the deck. Both of those cards active as board wipes in the format. Savine's Reclamation kind of gets your time sieve back if they decide to do that. Mnemonic Betrayal is probably just additional value. You start casting other people's cards. Like there's more value in here than you could possibly comprehend, which is why I can't really
Yeah.
go in and be like I could cut this very easily.
Absolutely. So another noob question. So Commander as a format, does it have is this have some of the most cards or does this do other formats have lesser more cards than Commander
Um,
that you're
so
able to play?
obviously the standard is very limited.
Okay.
It's limited to like the 2 or 3 years of the sets that just released. It's also like
I'm talking about card count that you can have in your deck, though.
oh,
Does it
commander is
change?
the most.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
So it's
the
yeah.
only other format that you could have more than commander in is probably a cube draft.
Mm.
So a cube, you have like a 554 card list, and you just draft those cards.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest list, and that's not even like a actual deck. It's more like you're putting it into a draft format.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's like a league that you're picking from. For it
Yeah.
of players. So I gotcha, gotcha. So we've got 5,000 here, and then we've got 1,000 here. This is Zach's casual deck. So he claims that he can beat, and I'd like to put a little bit of put some money on this and see if he could to prove boast here, because he says he could beat his $5,000 deck with his $1,500 deck. So I'd be interested to see that. To see you actually do that. Um, that would be interesting. Are you able to you're able to play against yourself online, right?
Uh Not that I know of.
Mm,
I haven't found a way to do it yet, but like you could definitely play other people that are playing your deck.
gotcha. You could play me, which wouldn't recommend it, my friend. Yeah, I might take you
Yeah,
down.
because
But yeah,
this specific Tivit list is played by many people in California.
gotcha.
Like this is like top 5 cEDH deck lists that
So there is a regional difference. I've heard this before, that there is like, oh, a lot of people out in California are playing these cards compared to the East Coast. So can you tell me a little bit about that if you don't mind?
well, it depends on where you're at. Um and what people are playing in your state. So like if more people are playing uh like Sands Green.
Hmm.
If they're playing Sands Green, you're going to look to your control matchups like your Tivit, um your Zur the Enchanter and all that kind of stuff. Um if you're here in California, you get your players like your Winota players, all the aggressive play, and you kind of look towards maybe like a control list like Tivit to kind of slow them down.
So
So
why do you think it is different regional? I mean, I understand it's just by why, but why are people in different states playing different things? Is it different style, just different culture?
it's a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
My honest thought about it is that people are raised a certain way in
Yeah,
certain states, and people are raised to be more aggressive at certain stages of their life.
gotcha.
And maybe those people are complete opposites compared to the people that are in Wyoming, where
Hmm.
there's not a lot of people, and it's a lot more conservative with raising their children.
Yeah,
So like the people that are more conservative could play more controlling matchups.
gotcha.
So I think it's like the player itself kind of determines what that player is going to play. Um, just like me, I'm a natural control player. I will
Hmm.
never I will never lean away from playing control. Um, if I do, I'm probably just doing it for fun, and I take it apart in like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah,
But like the decks that I've had for 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, they are all control decks because I keep them together, and they I never take them apart.
I think it's interesting, the psychology behind it, because I did hear a guy recently in a podcast when I'm doing research.